I'm with Tommy B.
Come
Welcome.
on.
And it's sick to have you. I remember, yeah, we as we were saying before, we used to back in the day, like literally like what, 4 years ago, 5 years ago?
I reckon it's more like 5 years ago, man. 2015.
Yeah,
Maybe even before then.
yeah.
Maybe even before then. Do you know
Mm,
what I mean? I remember talking to you even then.
yeah, man, it's
Yeah.
mad. It's mad. It's been proper sick to witness your rise. Um,
As well as yours, man.
oh, I appreciate that, bro. Thank you.
Come on.
But yeah, man, how are you doing? You good?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. You know what? I'm excited. I'm excited at the moment because I'm sitting on a project that's coming very soon, and I'm starting to work on another project as well.
Yeah.
So like at this moment in time, I'm excited musically. I'm very excited for what's to come. To be fair, in a
Yeah.
good space.
That's really good to hear, man. And how's it? So yeah, wait, yeah, let's talk about your project after. But
Yeah,
how's the whole lockdown malarkey been for you?
you know what, mate? Like, yeah, I think it's been a tough year for everyone. You know, being stuck in and not being able to get out to the raves and socialize and really how you would have liked to. It's been tough, but you know what? I've just pulled my socks up, and just carried on working. Do you know what I mean? I've carried on releasing throughout the year, so I'm happy with that. With the lockdown stuff, and it's been tough, but I'm happy that we can see a bit of a light now. Do you know what I mean? There's a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel now, and hopefully in the new year it's going to be more positive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man, definitely. And with you, yeah, it's like you can tell you're a man with his life together. I can tell, like you're hard, you seem very hardworking and driven, and I really respect that. Um,
No, I appreciate that, man. You know what? It's funny when you hear someone else say that. You think my instant first thought is, "What are you going on about?" But for someone else to say that, they must see something. So I appreciate it.
yeah, man. But yeah, let's talk about your music, man. So when did you? Because obviously, I witnessed that from time ago. So when when did you first sort of start getting into music? Would you say?
Sorry, I have to put my phone on charge quickly. Sorry for
No
this
worries,
is real life. This is real life Zoom problems.
bro.
Um, do you know what? I think getting into I started getting into music when I was about. Well, look, my earliest memories of music, really, my mum used to play the Verve album. Do you know about the Verve?
Yeah, I know
They
about yeah.
That Urban Hymns album. So
What bit of
that's
sweet
my
symphony?
Bittersweet Symphony, Lucky Man, Drugs Don't Work, all of them tunes. And that was I mean, music was always playing in my house, but that, I think that the first album I actually ever went out and bought myself was that Urban Hymns CD, because I think my mum had it and it got lost, and then I ended up going into Woolworths and buying it from when I was very young. It's a distant memory, but I remember getting that CD. So I think, yeah, that, and then obviously, I mean, my brother was massively into Eminem as well. I've got an older brother, so he's like 10 years older than me, and he was massively into Eminem. So I think once I started listening to Eminem through him, that's what really enticed me into music. Do you know what I mean? And I used to recite all of those lyrics. It sounds really stereotypical, but this is just my story, innit? I can't change what it is, but like I used to just recite all of those lyrics, and I actually used to get on the karaoke and do them. So like my family used to go down to Essex in the 6 weeks holidays, and there was a clubhouse they used to go to, and I used to get up and get on the karaoke and do the Eminem lyrics, and it was sort of from there that I got the buzz for performing, and then it sort of just evolved from there really, and I started writing my own lyrics when I was about 9. So it's just sort of progressed from there. Do you know what I mean?
That's mad because I literally did the same thing. You know, I remember when I was in Italy. Yeah, yeah, bro. I used to say I used to rap God.
Okay, yeah, got ya. Old school. See, but even for me though, like by the time, like, it's mad. By the time that Rap God had come out, like I wasn't even really as into Eminem as much, because of how young I got introduced to him. Like obviously I've always listened to him, but I got introduced to him at such a young age because my brother was like 10 years older than me. So when my brother was like, what, 12, 13, in like sort of 01, 02, Eminem was obviously the massive. So like it was sort of bumped into me from then. So like I knew all of those fucking songs. And I remember, this is going a bit off topic, but we're here and we're talking. I actually remember when Eminem come out and done the Relapse album. And I remember there was a period of time where he didn't release any music, and then he come out with a Relapse album. And I remember that period of time of actually waiting for Eminem to drop music. I used to go on his website and the tune would be, I'd go on his website and, you know, he had that tune with 50 Cent and Lloyd Banks. What is it called? You know, yeah, I didn't like you don't know. You know that tune? Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's yeah.
I used to go on that. I used to go on his website and that would be the tune. But obviously the tune was released in like 06. And this is like 2008 now. I'm going on there looking at the website and he still hasn't released nothing. And I remember when he released Relapse, I was like, fuck, Eminem's back with new music. Like, yeah, it's mad. Sorry, that was a bit off kilter, but yeah.
No. Don't worry about it, man. Yeah. So would you say that Eminem is an inspiration of yours?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. That's my first inspiration. And then after that, like, I got introduced to, I mean, my brother sort of introduced me to grime as well, in a sense, because I remember watching like the Lord of the Mics clashes, Scratchy and Footsie on Lord of the Mics, I think was my earliest memory of grime. And I remember that was sort of like one of my first early memories of grime. And then I got introduced to Lethal Bizzle Pow. And then from there, I used to have a uTorrent, not uTorrent. Yeah, I think it was uTorrent or something on my computer. And I just used to go through and I had all the Roll Deep tapes and the Wiley tapes and a lot of those people. And that's how I sort of started getting into it, like just going on there and just downloading the tunes. And then I went to see Dizzy Rascal. My mum got me tickets to go to Lovebox Festival when I was about 9 or 10. And I went to see Dizzy Rascal and he performed at Lovebox Festival. He was headlining. Must have been 2010, I think, or maybe 2009. I can't remember. But that inspired me. And I remember before I went to see him, I bought the Boy in the Corner album. And I remember listening to that. And like, obviously I was very young, so I didn't really, I mean, I understood that it was sick and it just sounded sick. I didn't really understand the subject matter as much. Now I'm older, I can appreciate it even more. Do you know what I mean? And then from there, I just sort of started getting into grime, started listening to like Gets, Devlin, those sort of MCs. And they're the sort of MCs that I look at as as the pinnacle, really, for me. You know, like I always say, for me, my top three is Gets, Wiley, and Devlin. Like them three, for me, you know, they're sick, bruv.
And it's mad because with Eminem, yeah, even now, like I can hear it hint like more than a hint of that in your lyrics. Do you know what I mean?
What, the Eminem stuff?
Yeah, man, because he's very wordy and sort of do you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah, cool. So
can feel that in your music, even like my own as well, you know.
yeah, cool. I think naturally, if you've listened, whatever you've listened to,
Yeah,
naturally you're going to take inspiration from. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
But yeah, he's crazy with it, Eminem, man. Absolutely fucking insane with it.
yeah. No, 100%. And so you're from Essex.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I was born in Homerton Hospital, Hackney, and I lived in Bethnal Green until I was about 5. So all my family come from East London, and then we moved down to Essex. So I grew up in Essex, down in a little town called Malden, and I
Yeah.
grew up down there. So
Whereabouts?
like, Yeah, I come from Essex, but then like originally East London, and I've always sort of my family. I mean, I'm living in East London now. I've been here like the last 2 years, so like I'm sort of I grew up down Essex, so I say Essex, but I've sort of got like this sort of in between, if you get what I'm saying.
What was it like for you growing up in Essex?
You know what? It was one of them ones. It was like for me. I mean, I was explaining this earlier, actually, like funnily enough, speaking to someone about this. For me, down there, it was like, it was a good place to grow up, like definitely a good place to grow up. But for me, I felt like I was a bit magnified in the sense that, like, we lived in the council. Like, it was sort of like the area that we lived in. There was a lot of like middle class kids, and then like there was a couple of estates like the council estates, but because the council estates were like, it was just so bait that they were the council estates, because that's where I was, it was almost like I was magnified a little bit. So I growing up, I used to feel like I didn't fit in, but now I just, to be honest, looking back, I think it's bollocks. Like, I think I just, I don't know, I feel like that was just something that was going on with me myself. Do you get what I'm saying? But growing up was cool. Like, it was fine, and it was just, to be fair, it was one of them places where there ain't a lot going on for kids. There's not a lot going on, so you just have to go out and sort of make your own fun. Do you get what I'm saying? So I was just out from like the age of like 9. I was just out, just all the time. I was just out constantly, and I've got brilliant memories growing up. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, just yeah, basically.
No, the fact that you had to go out and create your own fun because there wasn't a lot for kids. It's almost like that now with you, like because obviously you're very driven. It's like it sounds like it sort of comes from that in a way, like having to
Do you
just
know what? Yeah, I feel like I've always been one of them people. I do go out and search. I've always been trying to escape. Basically, I'm one of them. I like to escape, and I try and find ways to do that. Do you get what I'm saying? And I do that through music. What's that?
Could you elaborate? Yeah, could you elaborate on the kind of escaping? Like
Yeah, man.
what makes you wanna escape, and what does that mean for you?
I think for me, I mean, you know, I'm quite open with the fact that, like, yeah, I'm sober, I'm clean and sober. So like for me, like, you know, I've got those addictive traits in me. So like naturally, as someone who's got those traits, I feel like you do go out and look to escape. Do you get what I'm saying? And whether it was me using drugs when I was younger, or whether that was picking up a pen and getting lost in making music, you know, I've always tried to fill that fucking void that I've always like sort of suffered with, if you get what I'm saying. But now, because I'm not using, it's just music, and that's why in the last 3 years now, in the last 3 years, I've just gone 100 miles an hour with the music. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I feel like I'm in the position that I'm in now, because I've just fucking gone for it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and congrats on that, by the way, bro. Like that's really proper good to
No,
hear.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. So yours is very lyrical, and it's kind of it's dense.
Yeah.
Like wordy, but very like really intelligent lyrics as well. So what sort of made you go with that style instead of, you know, being a grime MC who says run up in the yard with a shetty, your man are not ready.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I it's a hard question. I just feel like I was inspired. I was more inspired by the people that were saying more. That's the simplest way I can put it, is that like I was just more inspired by like the actual craft of fucking saying something smart. Like I've always felt like I was quite an intelligent person, so I wanted to bring that to my music. Do you know what I mean? And that, yeah, like for me, it was never, I don't know, man. I feel like naturally, I don't know, because for me, it feels like when I started, it was very basic. Do you get what I'm saying? But like I said, I feel like being inspired by certain people, you know, when you're listening to music of a certain quality, lyricists of a certain quality, you know, when you decide that that's what you want to do, I think that naturally you aspire to be what you're inspired by. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. And you started early, man. So you started writing lyrics at 9.
Yeah, yeah.
And at what
About
point did
9.
it become serious for you?
Well, yeah, I mean, ever since I started writing, it was always part of me that knew that that's what I wanted to do. Do you know what I mean? It was always there. But from like, I sort of dropped it out when I was about 11, went to school, you know, just being at school, all that shit. Like, it was one of them ones. But then when I was about 14, I think I just decided that I just wanted to just give it a go. And I decided probably when I was about 14, I started taking it more seriously. That's when I started uploading a lot of videos to Facebook and stuff. Actually, maybe 15, maybe like 15, between 14 and 15. I started uploading videos to Facebook, and then it was and then it was at a point, the point that I decided to take it seriously was, see, this is a mad thing as well that I've only just clocked, like talking about it. Like there was another boy in my school, yeah, he was in the year above me, and he was putting out freestyles. One of his freestyles got like 100,000 views on Facebook, right? And I was like, I ain't having it. I was like, nah, no way is he ain't better than me, and that has happened to him. It was like a switch went off in my head, and I was like, nah, I have to make sure that this is happening for me. Do you get what I'm saying?
Then you
And
got
like,
what, like
I
2
just,
million?
what's that?
And then you got like what, 2 million?
Yeah, like, and then I just carried on working, and then next thing you know, some viral pages uploaded it. Well, it weren't even, the mad thing is the page didn't even have that many likes. It had about 1,000 likes on it, and then for whatever reason they uploaded my video and it got 1 million views, and it was just like, what the fuck, like this is mad. And then it was sort of then that I started to gain traction on Facebook, when I was about 15, coming on 16. And that's when I decided, well, that's when I started taking it seriously, because people were actually showing an interest in it. Do you know what I mean? Like before then, it was sort of just like people from around where I live. Oh, little Tommy B, oh, little Tommy's got bars, he's got bars. It was sort of like just like people in the local area knew about me. And then next thing you know, I've got these videos that are gaining views on Facebook, like mad views, and I've got people from all over the country messaging me, like just like it was mad. Like I can't lie, it was just such a crazy time. I was getting so many requests on Facebook, like it was just going nuts. Like, and I think that at that moment in time was when I was like, yeah, I need to just try and take this seriously. Do you know what I mean? And then it was just a shame, really. Like I started going to radio when I was off the back of that. I got invited to radios. I got invited to radio by Kirby T, and I linked up with all them boys who were from Essex as well. And then we started doing the radio thing. And then it's just such a shame that from like when I sort of turned 16, 17, as I was doing the radar sets, I weren't putting out tunes. And the reason I weren't putting out tunes was because I was so heavily into puffing weed and the rest of it that I just didn't have the motivation to get in the studio and make tunes. I was happy to go to radio sets and have the fun, but not actually make tunes. And it's just a shame that I didn't actually, I just wish that I was taking myself seriously then. But to be honest, looking back, everything actually has to happen for a reason. And like when I was 18, I got my shit together and just took it 100%, and I've just tried to give it 100% since then. But yeah, probably when I was about 15, when that kid got 100,000 views, I wasn't having it. Basically, I wasn't having it, and that was what spurred me on. So yeah, man.
Yeah, because there's a good competitive edge to that. And
Oh, 100%.
I definitely think that has to happen for a reason. And also, you've got to remember when you're 16, 17, like that happens, you know?
Yeah, of course.
And yeah, so it's fine, bro. Like you're here now. Do you get me?
Yeah, man.
And yeah, but I know what you mean about weed though. Weed can stop you being motivated.
Do you know what? Like for me, for me, it didn't do me any favors. I know people that swear blind by it. They'll say it helps them and whatever, and that's fine. Like I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this or do. I don't give a fuck what anyone does, but I just know for me, it don't help me. Do you know what I mean? And that's it. You know.
Yeah, and it's probably sick to hear that you've come out of that and you're obviously very, very driven now. So that
Oh
needs
yeah, cool.
for it to kind of shift. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I think that whatever you go through in life, you know, you have to go through a bit of pain to then come out the other side and gain. You know, it's just a roller coaster, isn't it? It goes up and down. You know, you have to have them downs to then come out the other side and have the fucking good times that follow. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%, definitely. And it's always the people that work the hardest and that practice who get the furthest. It's literally that's the key, you know?
I say this all the time. It doesn't matter how much talent you've got. If you're just gonna pick up your fucking hairbrush and spit bars in your mirror, you ain't gonna go nowhere, mate. And that's the truth. You have to go out and grab it and just be relentless with it and just keep fucking going. You know, like I'm 21 now, and like I said, I wrote my first lyric when I was 9. So what? That's 12 years. That's 12 years. Like not 12 years of consistently going at it, writing, but that's 12 years all in all of picking up the pen and yeah, like getting to this point, and I'm only just at this point now. Do you know what I mean? It's a graft, but if you want it, you have to work for it. Like it doesn't matter how much talent you've got, you have to work hard. And if you're talented and you work hard, then the chances are you're going to go somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just about being relentless. And I guess I feel like there's a sort of culture within our generation in particular where people aren't necessarily as willing to put in pure graft, you know?
You know what is, I feel? I personally feel that the reason for that is because we're in throwaway culture. We're part of like
Yeah.
going on Instagram, seeing a tune, clicking on the link on YouTube, listening to it a few times, then next thing you know, someone else has dropped a tune. And it's just all there, so easy just to scroll through, throw it away. Like I can vividly remember going to Tesco and buying that Eminem Relapse album. I remember it now. I remember it. I remember putting the CD in the car and I remember how it made me feel. I remember that. But now, like, I couldn't tell you how I felt. I couldn't tell you what happened the first time I listened to an album a year ago because we consume it differently now. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like that reflects on people because all you see is like views and likes on a screen, and it's like, okay, people just want to go, yeah, I want to do this music thing, jump on, they want to get a million views straight away, or they're not bothered about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's also not even that you'll listen to a tune a few times, it's like you'll watch 5 seconds. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Um,
100%.
so yeah, no, I get you. And so what's your creative process like when you're writing? What inspires you and what's it like when you sit down and write? Do you do it like in a clear setting or just all the time?
I'll be honest with you, I'm like, it's very sporadic for me, so it's like I've never ever forced it. I've never ever ever in my life forced it ever. Like it just happens for me when it happens. I can gain inspiration on the tube. I can gain inspiration walking through just at any time. Something can happen. I can listen to a tune, listen to someone's freestyle and think, fucking hell, like that can inspire me. Like just certain, I don't know, I just get inspired by life in general. Do you know what I mean? And then from there, my process is just sitting down with a pen and the paper and just and just making it happen. Really, I mean, for me, what I would say is that I write a lot of my stuff at home. You know, I don't. I sometimes I go to the studio and like I'll sit there and I'll write in the studio, but it's more common, like much more common for me to be sitting at home, like until 3, 4 in the morning in my bedroom, just writing. Do you know what I mean? I'm one of them people. I like to be alone with my creative process a lot of the time. That's how it is for me. But sometimes I do get in the studio and create stuff, you know, spontaneously. But a lot of the time it is just me writing on my own.
But also, it's the nature of your music as well. You can't be. People make music at the time, which is like simple lyrics. You know, you can't be.
Yeah, of course.
You can't be coming out with them kind of lyrics like that.
Yeah, it does take time sometimes. Yeah, but then saying that, you know, it's mad because I've had experiences where I've sat there within like 2 hours, I've written the maddest stuff, like, and intelligent and deep as well. And then other times it takes longer, you know. But I think that if one thing I've learned is that, and you probably understand this as well, is that once the vibe is there, you have to keep it going. So like, if I'm sitting there writing a tune and I can feel where I'm going with it, I have to stay in that mindset. Do you know what I mean? The minute that I go downstairs, make a cup of tea, look at my phone or whatever, like it's different. Like for me, I feel like when I'm working and my mind's on it, like that's how my creative process is. It's like I get into it, and I have to just stay on it. Basically, if I go away from it, I lose it, and then I have to come back to it a whole nother time. And do you get what I'm saying?
I completely get what you're saying. It's like anything can just. It's such a fragile thing. It's like you have to, because anything can just pop it.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
But it's like magic, man. When that lasts, and you're just sitting there, like the times where I've written tunes, and it's like you're just there, like hyper focused for like 2 hours, 3 hours. You know what I mean?
It's mad, man.
It's so mad.
Absolutely insane. And the amount of times I've sat up and I'm thinking, right, I've got work in a few hours, but I know if I don't sit here and write this now, it's not. I have to. So I mean, it's like something takes over, and I just have to do it.
That process kind of drives you a bit nuts as well, in a way.
It's crazy, man. It's an obsession. I am obsessed with music, and I've had a hook in my head all day long. All day long. It hasn't even been recorded. All I've got is the beat. I can't. It's a singing hook. So it's for someone else. It's for a vocalist.
Yeah.
It's in my head now. It's for a tune that I'm thinking of, but I'm hoping to get a vocalist on it. Do you know what I mean? But in my head, like all day long, I just literally wrote it this morning, just quickly, and it's just been playing around in my head all day long. Like, even now, I can hear it. I can hear it now. Like, and it's been in the background all day long. I've been out. I've been everywhere today, and this has just been in my head. And it's like, I am obsessed with music. I am obsessed. Like, it's mad. I can't even explain. I can't even get into how obsessed I am with it, really. No, not like I sit there and I think about it all day, but it's just in the background all day long. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I literally understand you so much. It's so weird. But
yeah.
I fully get you. Do you ever have it where you think of something like that, like, but then you forget? You just suddenly forget it.
Yeah, and this is why I have to, like, if I'm at work, if I'm anywhere, yeah, I don't give a shit. Yeah, I have to get my phone out and voice record myself saying it. Yeah, even if it's just an idea, I have to, because the amount of times I've thought of something and then I forget it, and I'm like, oh, shit. Like, I have to make sure I've got, even if it's just a little melody or whatever it is, I have to make sure that it's there, or I write it down, or if I've got my phone, I'll voice note it. And so then I know exactly how I wanted it to sound as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get you.
I'm literally desperate to go to the toilet, yeah?
Yeah,
Give
yeah,
me
yeah.
2 minutes and I'll come back. All
Yeah,
right. Literally.
yeah.
It's one.
No worries, bro.
It's one of them ones, man. Give me 2 minutes and I'll be back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you got
I'm-
no, no. What's your favorite moments so far doing music?
wow. There's so much I can say for that question. Like,
What comes to mind?
there's loads. Honestly, there's loads. I think going like when I was about 16, I started going to radio. You know, there was some sick moments. Just like that whole time period for me was just golden. Like going to radio with my pals and just without a care in the world and just going there just because I wanted to spit bars. It was not complicated. Didn't have to think about a campaign, this, that, or whatever. A video. I literally just used to turn up and spit bars with my mates, and that was just golden. Do you know what I mean? That whole time period, like probably 2016 coming into 2017, brilliant times for me. You know,
Yeah,
yeah, brilliant times. All of that stuff, just going around and just doing it. I say pirate radio. It was all internet radio, really, but it felt like pirate radio because it was all dingy little places and just, do you know what I mean? It was just brilliant. Like, so yeah, I'd say those moments in particular. What else have we got? I remember turning up to the first under 19 radar set. That was fun.
yeah.
I remember coming out of there thinking, yeah, I just bodied that. Like, that was all good confidence building for me. What else have I got? You know what? I think there was one particular Grime Originals I'd done, which was just mad. Like doing one of the Grime Originals raves. Then it was just sick. That night was sick. Must have like I murked the set. Must have got like 4 reloads or something. Just like going at it. Like it was good. What other moments have I got? You know what? I think I mean, yeah. Aside from like, yeah, Grime Originals, I went out to Prague. I went out to Prague with Discarder. That was sick. And we
Yeah.
went to Estonia as well, which was really good. Really good times. Obviously, when I got to collaborate with Devlin, that was mad for me. Do you know what I mean? Like that just felt like an achievement because I know how sick of a lyricist he is. Do you know what I mean? Like
That's one of your
so.
inspirations as well. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, as well as one of my inspirations. Yeah, exactly. And it was just like, you know what? Like to get the stamp, it was like it just felt like because of how much of a lyricist he is, for me to have him on my tune, for him to like rate me enough to come on the tune. And by the way, in my opinion, it weren't just an any old verse for him. He like, you know what I mean? Like he
No,
smacks that tune up.
it was proper. It was also like it was very like personalized to the tune as well.
Yeah, yeah. He went in. He went in. Do you know what I mean? Like, and to just be able to get that, you know, and I feel like for me, it was like, you know, as an MC, you know this, to make someone go hard, it means that you went hard yourself. Do you understand? So for me, it was like, okay, I can actually stand up with the big boys. You know, it was at that moment, I thought I can fucking do this. Do you know what I mean?
It was more.
And then obviously,
Stand up with the big boys though, bro. Like you, like it's more than that, man. It's not like you know.
yeah, of course, I get that. Like, it just felt like at that time, it was like, I don't know, it just felt like for me because of how I want to be as a lyricist. Do you get what I'm saying? How I want to be as a lyricist, it just felt like to get that was like, yeah, you know, I'm in the right I'm going in the right direction. Do you know what I mean? And obviously he took me on tour as well. So we went across the UK. It was just sick. Like that was just brilliant times for me. And then obviously after that, I had Lord of the Mics, which was just mental. Do you know what I mean? Like
What was that like?
that's a moment. That's a moment, mate.
What was clashing like for you compared to music?
To be honest with you, I've been clashing since I've been like even when I said to you earlier about the boy who got 100,000 views, like he must have been the first person I sent for when I was like 15. Like I'd done a video sending for him. Do you know what I mean? And then like from there, I've always sort of had that competitive edge.
The actual beef?
No. It's just sending, but
yeah.
like, it did feel like actually it probably could have gone that way, but it didn't. Do you know what I mean? But like it's just I don't know. Like for me, the clashing thing. I think if you do grime, like I think that the clashing thing does sort of come hand in hand with it because of how competitive grime is.
It's a sport.
You know, the whole exactly. It's a sport. Like the whole essence of grime is sort of clashing. Like even if you're on a radio set. Sorry, one sec. Yeah, go on. Hello. Sorry.
Of course, man.
You're right. George. I'm doing an interview. You have to go out. Sorry.
No worries, man. But yeah, the essence of rap is clashing, man.
But
like
yeah,
dancehall, sound clash culture. You know what I mean? It's deep rooted.
Exactly. You know, that's where it comes from, and I'm glad that you said that because that is where it comes from. You know, when people ask me, so what is grime? I sort of always say, well, it comes from dancehall, sound system, culture, and like, you know, that's all based off of clashing. So clashing is actually in the bloodline of grime. Do you know what I mean? And you know, yeah, and rap as well. Actually, rap in general is just it is a competitive sport. Do you know what I mean? And I think for me, I think what's given me an edge in clashing is that how I was brought up by my old man, we all took the piss out of each other. Like my brother would take the piss out of me. I'd take the piss out of my brother. I used to all of us just used to take the piss out of each other. Do you know what I mean? So that's definitely given me an edge in the sense that I can actually take someone sending shots at me and just be able to sort of brush it off a little bit. Do you know what I mean? And just come back. I've always been quite quick. Like if once someone starts and the banter starts, my head goes quickly, and I'm quite good at throwing it back quite quickly. So I think that's given me an edge. And clashing, like it's you know, I when I'm doing it, I do enjoy it, but like it was good for me, and it's good for anyone who's coming up in grime, rap, whatever it is, to clash. It builds you up. It builds you up as a person. Do you get what I'm saying? To have someone stand there in front of you, face to face, and say things that are harmful that you don't like, and to be able to keep your cool and come back. That's deeper than rap or grime. That's like a lesson for life. Do you get what I'm saying? That allows you to practice patience, and if you don't practice patience and you flop that, then you're going to flop the clash, and everyone's going to think back to how you flopped. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's a character builder, definitely. Do you know what I mean? And if you do flop, you come back harder the next time.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely a serious clashing, and I learned that.
Oh, it is.
Remember?
Oh yeah, you done the clash at Don't Flop. Yeah, but you done all right though. But if you hadn't,
I forgot my fucking lyrics, man.
Yeah, but do you see what it is? Yeah. The truth of the matter is, and I'm not saying this as an offense to you. I'm saying I would say this to anyone. He probably put more effort into remembering his lyrics.
Yeah, he definitely did.
And this is the thing, right? For me, and I clocked this from young. I clocked this like being in radio and doing clashing. Yeah, for me, I've always spent a lot of time just going over it. Like when I was coming up to doing my Lord of the Mics clash with JO117, I don't know why I have to say his whole name. Jay, he's blessed. I like Jay. But when I was coming up to do my clash with him, like, oh man, it become my whole life. You know, I was talking about obsession with music. Like this clash become an obsession, and I did not stop thinking about it all the time, constantly. It was like, and I was like at work spitting the bars to myself, at home spitting the bars to myself. I was driving people nuts that were around me.
I know exactly what you mean, bro. Yeah.
You know, but like I was like, I cannot go there and forget my lyrics. That's not happening today. That's not happening. And then I went there, And it's mad because neither me or him, we didn't not even fuck up one lyric out of the whole clash, yeah, which shows the levels in that clash, right? But because in most clashes, someone flops at least one bar, do you know what I mean? It just happens. But like in that clash, it's mad because he was, when he was spitting, and once the lights come on, you've got loads of people standing behind the camera as well. Your people, you've got your pals standing behind you. You've got him standing there, his pals standing behind him. It's a very tense situation. Do you get what I'm saying? And like once he started spitting his lyric, he's spitting, and I'm thinking, fuck. And my mind must have gone blank about 3 or 4 times during the time that he's spitting. I'm not even listening to what he's spitting. And then I'm just like at the last second, remembering what I'm going to say and come back in. Like, even with all that preparation, I was still in my head, like, the pressure is just mad. It's mad.
Pressure
But,
is
yeah.
crazy when you're clashing because it's different. It's not music anymore.
No, it's not. It's not. It's survival, mate. You have to. Yeah, it's nuts. It's war, man. It's nuts. It's crazy. All of the greats that have done battling in any form have definitely had times where they've been on the ropes and they've had to come back stronger. Do you know what I mean? And that's just part of what we do. You know what I mean? You just have to. And this is the thing about this game, is that if you ain't strong, you do not survive, mate. This game is not a game for the faint-hearted. It's just not, because like the amount of people that have probably turned up to their first clash thinking they're the man, got spun, and then just gone home and just thought, oh, I'm not doing this no more. I can't deal with it. Do you know what I mean? And we've all been there in a certain capacity where someone's, we've all had doubts. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's the people that continue to come back. Oh, it's the people that continue to come back again and again that are the people that survive and make a career out of it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely, man. Music in itself isn't for the faint-hearted. So grime is another.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it's personal. It's personal.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I guess with grime, it's all very localized, isn't it? It's like you kind of know everyone like who does it, and it's like they'll know.
Yeah.
It. So it's
Yeah.
quite personal. So
Definitely.
what's in store for the future for Tommy B?
Oh man, there's a lot in store. So my next project that's going to be dropping is called Man Up, and it is produced by Z Dot and Crunchy. So I've been dropping tunes with Z Dot and Crunchy this year. They produced No Dramas, which is on the project. They produced a couple of the other singles as well. And yeah, we've been working on that, and we're going to drop eight tracks on the 11th of December. And that project is something that I'm really proud of. It's definitely a step up musically for me. Being able to work with a producer of that level in Z Dot, with Z Dot and Crunchy, producers at that level, it's just enhanced my sound. Do you know what I mean? And it's made my songwriting better. And I'm looking forward to putting out the project because it's got sides of me that haven't been shown before. Do you know what I mean? It's got it's just subject matter that I haven't touched on before. There's grime on there. Obviously, it's mostly grime, but then there's, I've got the garage element in No Dramas, and then I've got rap tunes on there as well. So it's just and the whole project itself represents me. That's why I called it Man Up. It's it's me becoming a man, really. I feel like through this project, that's how it feels for me, is that I've sort of become a man through this project. And there's one song which is actually the lead track, which is the title of the project, Man Up, which is a very personal song to me. Do you know what I mean? Talking about my struggles from the age of probably 14 up until now, and what I've had to face. And it's very deep, and it's just, I'm looking forward to people seeing that side of me and people having more of an understanding of me as an artist. Do you know what I mean? Because I think that's important. I think that when I think about my favorite artists, there's certain songs that I've listened to that I've learned a lot about them as a human. And sometimes it's nice to actually show that side rather than just the artist all the time. Sometimes it's actually nice just to be yourself and tell your story. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to that, and yeah, man, we've gonna have videos coming out with that project as well. So I'm just really looking forward to getting that out, and in the future as well, I'm working on another project which I'm not going to talk about right now because it's just in the early stages, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff going on for the future, a lot of music, and for me now, really, it's just about leveling up again. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I'm proud of the progress I've made and where I've got to, and now it's about taking that next step. Do you know what I mean? I do want to become one of the biggest artists in this country. Like I have that ambition. That's what I want to do. Do you know what I mean?
I'm sure.
So I hope so, man. I hope so. And it's not, it's nice to hear that from another artist like that. That means a lot to me. Do you get what I'm saying? But it's like, that's where I want to go. And I'm just going to try to take the next right steps to take myself there, basically. And yeah, just keep going at it. You have to just keep going at it, I suppose.
And would you say there's a political, sort of, maybe unintentionally, a sort of political side to the name Man Up? Because I love that it's called that, yeah, because we're living in a culture of like where people would get offended by that, like certain people.
To be honest with you, right?
I love that.
It's one of them ones where,
do you know what I mean?
It's one of them ones where I've written the song about me becoming a man, and that's it. So the words "man up," right? And this is the thing I don't want to get misconstrued. Is like, if someone come to me and started telling me some deep stuff, because I've been through struggles with addiction and whatever, right? I wouldn't say to them, "Man up." I wouldn't look at someone cold-hearted in the face and go, "Listen, you need to man up." That's not the right advice. But I'm talking about my experience of becoming a man and manning up for me. Do you know what I mean? It's my personal experience. To be honest with you, I feel like, if I'm being honest, I feel like sometimes things get taken way too far out of proportion and people become offended about things they don't really need to. And I'm not gonna go too far into that because that's just a wormhole. Do you get what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I called the song Man Up, yeah, because that's what I had to do. And the song is about me going from boy to man. And it suits the name of the project because I'm talking about, I'm exploring different sounds, but I'm talking about subject matters that I haven't talked about before. And that to me is me going from being a boy to a man. So that's it. That's that, and it might seem controversial, but I think that if you've called your project Man Up and that's controversial, then that's just a sign of the times that we're in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, bro. Like sometimes people do. You do need to, like, people do need to man up. Like, I respect that. Sounds sick. I'm very excited.
I mean, look, listen. Yeah, this is just for me. I'll be fucked if I have anyone telling me what I can and can't say. I've got morals as a human being. Yeah, as a human, I know who I am and what I stand for. And you can ask anyone that's around me in my life what I'm like as a human. Do you get what I'm saying? So for me, I don't have to justify saying anything because I know that my intentions are pure. Do you get what I'm saying? My intentions are pure. I'm not one of these people that comes out and just does things for. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you understand.
You're true to yourself. It's your experience.
Yeah, that's it, man. Exactly, bruv. So I'm looking forward to it, man. Be good.
And no, it's been so interesting to chat to you, man. And before we finish as well, have you got an acapella 16?
Of course I have, man.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you want? He's thrown me. He's got me on the ropes. What do you fancy? All right, I'll go give you a lyric. Yeah. I'll give you a lyric in it. I'll give you a lyric. All right, cool. Look, so picture this, Polaroid. Shit was getting deep at home. Found a way to escape. Now I'm rolling with the older boys. Thinking I'm the man. I got my spliff and my can, but no plans. I was damned. And before long, my soul destroyed. Thinking back, times were tough. Problems kept on piling up. I was never in the house. Sister must have cried enough. Couldn't lend my shoulder. My heart was turning colder. I was thinking about my mum's man and shooting him with a revolver. Blasting him. Watch him take his last breath, then laugh at him. Dump him in the Thames because you don't deserve a casket prick. Little Tom, that it can't have been. Shit, spend an hour in my head. You might need pardoning. It's the art of this to make you feel like part of this, to make you feel like you can grab this journey and embark on it, to make you feel emotions that I'm feeling, the ultimate healing. So you should grab this energy and harness it. And that's all I'm giving you right now, man.
Yeah, man, that sounds hard. That sounds hard. But what's that? Is that from your upcoming project?
That's for something in the future, man.
That's sick.
But that's the first lyric that was in my head, so I thought I'd give you that one.
Yeah, man. No, it's Shelly, but it's also deep. That's sick. That's sick.
Yeah, man. Come on.
I love that, bro. But yeah, proper interesting to chat to you, man. Definitely, like, sick interview, man. Proper interesting.
Appreciate it. I've really speak to someone who is an artist as well, who actually understands and, you know, has a similar way of thinking. You know, sometimes it's hard speaking to presenters because they don't understand. You know what I mean? Also,
presenters are bare corporate. Like, presenters just kind of like ask really dry questions, and there's clearly no passion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes, you know, I'm not knocking them, but sometimes it's nice to speak to one of your own. Do you know what I mean?